And we're back for the Dan and Ninko Show, episode 26.
26?
Wow, just my life. Just these episodes, just like every year, just keep coming quicker and quicker. I can't believe 26.
More and more grays.
I have a few grays. They're coming. In this episode, I wore my, if anyone knows what this is, tell me right now. I put the gold chain on in the deli. What deli is this? What deli? Sopranos deli.
Yeah.
Come
Get
on.
the full Sopranos on today.
I'm gonna grind you up. Anyway. So in this episode, I think I want to cover a few things. Number one being, I don't think the people understand out there the importance of these little microchips that actually make a new car a new car. Correct?
It's everything.
And there's a shortage in these microchips.
Anything that has basically like a screen.
Anything that has a screen has to have a microchip.
They're conductors,
and somebody out there just decided, let's not produce these anymore. And then another person decided to turn around a massive ship inside a very small canal and block $300 billion worth of imports and exports.
It's like 3 or 4 months behind on
Three
some
or
stuff.
4 months. So if you don't have a new car and you want a new car, if you don't buy a new car or you want to wait like a year or 6 months to a year, that is when you can buy one. So if I were you and I was looking for a car, I'd do it right now, because in the next month you're not going to be able to get one. And myself, I'm not a big lightly used fan.
Really?
Yeah.
Like you don't like the lightly used cars?
I'm not a big...
Little scratch, little dent, little ding.
Some people don't mind a little scratch or a little road chip. I personally can't take it. I have an issue. Maybe it's
you can barely
OCD.
take a new car.
A new car has it. New cars have chips in them right now, and
I know.
it bothers me. So if you buy something, it's got to be perfect. It's got to be mint. I was the kid that wouldn't run over a stick on my bicycle. So there you go. I had an issue.
But you'd put crap in a vise?
No, but that's a car. It's a car crash, like a derby.
Yeah, I know. But then the car's ruined, like the little toy car.
Yeah, but guess what? I could get another. I had
Oh,
like a
just-
bucket full
oh.
of toy cars. I only got one bike, and if I mess that bike up, Papa Ninko would be a little bit upset and say, well, you're not getting another bike, and that's it. And it's also a Guinness. It feels like a Guinness episode. We tried before, but
Yeah,
somebody
the bottle
gave us
didn't
like
work.
a screwdriver to open it up, and we couldn't get the bottles open. So this is actually a stout, which is, if you didn't know this is a little fun fact. A Guinness, which you might think is like a milkshake and thicker or more calories than a light beer, it's actually lower than a light beer. So you go and you get yourself a Michelob Ultra, has more calories than a Guinness. I think a Guinness has 90 calories. I do believe.
Is it?
I don't know. I just made that up. Whoa, what's up with this? Oh, it's got that little thing in there for the foaming action. But yeah, so the car industry, as
Car industry.
we speak right now, the car industry is pulling back on production or stopping production or doing so. Production is slowing because of, number one, COVID.
Yep.
Stopped them months and months and months ago. That freeze over in Texas, which was a seat foam industry, has been paused.
That's like the runoff of like oil and stuff like that. Like there's something, the byproduct of oil actually is
The seat
creates the
foam.
foam in the seats.
Well, that for the EV people out there, your seat foam is made of fossil fuels. So I don't know if you knew that, or your tires actually are made from fossil fuels as well.
Yeah.
So
Those batteries though are they're natural, right?
well, the
battery
batteries. Well, when you have a junkyard full of batteries and the acid runs into your drinking water, well, then that will be something. Let me tell you.
It'll be all natural, raw water. Yeah, no, but the industry is changing. So it's a cycle of events. So where it first started was coronavirus happened. So manufacturers like, oh crap, we're not going to sell as many cars. So let's cancel our order on parts. Is basically what they did. So that's where the chip shortage started. So when that happened, a bunch of companies went out of business that built the chips. But the 2 or 3 that were left when coronavirus happened, gaming systems, cell phones.
Bidding war, though. Were they like, hey, how much do you want to pay for it? How important is this chip to you? How much do you want to pay for it?
But the thing is, like, gaming consoles and phones and all that, all those sales went up. They all have chips in them. So they started selling all those chips to them. Now the auto industry comes back and goes, oh, crap, people are out buying cars again. We have to order them.
We need our chips.
Now they're behind all these other ones, so all these chips they can't get.
What's your favorite chip?
Like
your favorite
Cape Cod chip.
Cape Cod chip?
Yeah.
You ever have
We
like
live in New England.
You ever eat too many Cape Cod chips and like the roof of your? It's like eating too much Captain Crunch. Like the roof of your mouth is raw, or you get that really thick one that stabs you. Lay's, a Lay's original classic, unbelievable.
Really?
Lay's potato chip. I'm gonna make you a Ninko special. Sloppy Joe. I make a nice sloppy Joe. It's really good. Then you stack it high with Lay's potato chips. You take the bun and you just smash it down on there.
I love chips and sandwiches.
Oh, it's the best.
That's the best. Like you get
the best.
You have like a roast beef sandwich and you take some chips and just put them in.
You pile it up to where it's almost falling off, and then you just take that bun and you just crush it down.
As hard as you get it down. And get it as flat as
you want
possible.
it nice and thin.
That's the best. Yeah.
It is the best.
But
a couple pickles in there.
No.
Oh, you can't do the pickle, huh?
I almost want to puke when I hear the word pickle.
Well,
there was a show on once. I think it was like Maury Povich, and it was like something about like this girl being afraid of pickles, and they like pull them out, and she runs out of the place, like runs.
That would be you.
Oh yeah,
that would be you.
My daughter loves pickles, and
pickles are it's a cucumber. Do you like salad? Do you like a cucumber?
No.
On your salad?
No.
How do you not like? Do you like a tzatziki sauce?
Not really.
It's got cucumber in it.
Yeah.
It's one of the best.
See? Look at that. You couldn't trick me with it. No, but
you like a gyro? Gyros?
Yeah.
That's the best.
Yeah.
A Feisty Greek right on Route 1 right here. The best. Feisty Greek.
Gyros are good. There's a good place in Harvard Square too.
No, that's probably not the best for you, but if you do it once in a while, you put the French fries in there.
You put like everything in a sandwich. You just like
they put French fries in the gyro. They put it in there. That's what they put in there.
I've never seen that before.
It's in there. I'm telling you. When you eat one, look, and there's French fries.
You're like the guy from Mr. Deeds. Like, I want a pizza with M&Ms, French fries.
That would be a weird combo,
Skittles.
but sweet and salty is good. I want to tell you the best combo ever. Take a Lay's potato chip and a pretzel, and you mix the two together.
Lay's potato chip.
A potato chip and a pretzel. I'm telling you, do
like
this
a
at
soft
home.
Pretzel or like a
just a regular pretzel. Go when you're right now. If you're listening and you're at home, go in, and if you have pretzels and potato, just try it together. It's a great combo. It's a weird combo. That's a Papa Ninko combo.
So what, you take like a bag of
you just
Lay's
have some
potato
pretzels,
chips,
take some pretzels, throw them in a bowl, and then put some chips in there, and it's a great mixture. Almost like I got these beer nuts. Who doesn't like beer nuts? Original
sweet
peanuts. Yeah, sweet and salty. That's what I'm telling you. That's key.
You're big at the checkout counter, huh? Whatever's there.
I love browsing right before you get
when you go to the supermarket. Do you like read the magazines at the checkout counter and everything?
See, I don't do the magazines. If it's got I'm not a magazine guy at the checkout, but I'll browse. And nowadays, I feel like everyone has like LED lights on all the candy. So like before, there was no lights on the candy. When you're a kid, there was no lights on the candy. Now you go into the grocery store, it's all lit up. It's like bright. It's like, whoa, I can't even look at it. And it's just, I'm looking at Paydays, Milky Ways. I have a sugar issue sometimes. Kit Kat, Twix.
Kit Kat's the big thing?
Twix is that's my favorite, a Twix.
So that's like the cheap
king
thing?
size. It's 4.
Twix?
Yeah, that's it. That and a Twix.
Or beer?
The Twix and a Kit Kat. Those two together. Those are like the best.
So like when you were playing, did you ever eat Twix and Kit Kats and stuff?
All the time. I had no. So Kyle Vinoy, good friend Kyle Vinoy. We all love Kyle. When Kyle I'd talk to him after a game, and he'd say like, "Oh, I missed something," or I feel like I should have had that. I'll say, "Go get on the plane, get yourself a big Twix. Get yourself a Twix," because when you get on the plane, when you're flying to an away game, they charter the flight, and basically
they're on plane now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now they have their own plane. I was the last year. It was
the last year before their own
plane.
Yeah,
it's the same thing though. So they'll have when you get on, they'll have peanut butter and jellies, hamburgers, chicken sandwiches.
Just got a big basket, right?
They got a big basket of like all king size. So you want the four Reese cups.
So it's like the Good House for Halloween.
Yes, it's the Good House. It's the Good House. So you walk on, you can get a big thing of Twix, a big Kit Kat, the jumbo Reese's cups, the 4 of them. So after you get on the airplane on the ride home, you look at the cart, and you're like, all right, I'll grab some Skittles, I'll grab a Kit Kat, I'll grab a Twix, I'll grab a Reese's cup, and then you eat all that, and you feel absolutely terrible. On top of not being able to move because your Toradol is just wearing off at about the time you get off the plane. So
you would grab all that stuff?
Oh yeah. After a game, you're like drained. So when you get after a game,
like a pillowcase with you and throw it in.
Oh, I'd throw it in my bag too.
Take some home.
I'd take some home, of course. But anyway, after a game, you burn up. I wonder how many calories you burn in a football game. I mean, it's 3 hours.
Huge, yeah.
You're killing yourself. You have Toradol in your system. You feel good. You're getting on the plane.
You ever play a game with not on Toradol?
Nope.
So every game.
Every game.
Is that like every player?
I don't know if the new modern young kids do it, but I was in that last group of everyone lines up for a Toradol shot. Like you get your Toradol shot. And I didn't like the Toradol shot in my rear end because one time I got it in my butt and it like hit my muscle weird and it was like sore. And I was like, I don't want to ever feel sore again. So then I started getting it in my shoulder and nobody got it in their shoulder. Like, why do you do it in your shoulder? I'm like, well, it hits your heart faster and I could smell it quicker. Because you ever get a shot of something, you smell it?
No.
So I get the Toradol, I instantly smell it right when they shoot it in. I'm like, oh, there you go.
I'm ready to go.
Feel great. So I would do 2 Tylenol, a Toradol before a game.
You were about what else? You were about to say something.
Well, then
else.
I would do a Ninko Juice.
What's a Ninko Juice?
That's a Gatorade bottle with 2 Red Bulls, a scoop of Fast Twitch, which is like caffeine, and a scoop of NO Explode.
How did your heart not explode?
I don't know. I'm here today. I don't know. But that was, and then during the game, they make these Go gels. They're like this. It's like energy, liquid energy, and I would suck those down during the game too.
What was in it? Do you even know?
Caffeine.
Oh.
100 milligrams per pouch. I'd do like 4 pouches in a game.
How did? And then afterwards, you're slamming
I don't
down
go to
Skittles
sleep.
and stuff.
Yeah, but that like in a night game, if we played at home, I would be up until like 5 in the morning, 6. Sun comes up. I'm like, oh man, sun's up.
Then you gotta go to practice. Then you gotta go.
Then I go in and run and do my lifting, no sleeping, and then that day I'd be like,
you just crash the whole day.
Crash, yeah.
You have the day off, right?
The next day's the day off, so then I sleep in.
So you slept
the
whole
Monday
day?
I do the film. I'd be pretty good until like when I got home at like 3, I'd be like, I'm done.
You did this at every game?
Yeah.
How many years?
A long time.
Too long?
A long time. Well, the Toradol is just a super anti-inflammatory. So my wife, when she was a nurse, like they give Toradol to people that are having babies or somebody that's injured. It's just a super anti-inflammatory. Toradol is basically taking 6, I think it's like 6 ibuprofens. It's like the same equal to it, but it's just a big.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to get it once a week.
But it's only 16 times a year.
Yeah, but those people that
It's
they
more
give
like
it to
20
get it
times a
like
year.
one time in their lifetime.
Yeah. Well, now since the new CBA, I think you have to sign up for it, and it's a pill form.
I don't give you shots anymore?
No, they still do the shot, but you have to request the shot, which I don't want to take a pill because first it has to go in your stomach, then your body's got to absorb it. I want like instant, no pain. So what it does is it's just like when you take a ibuprofen and you're like, man, I'm a little achy. You take one, you're like, oh, I feel great. But the problem is when it wears off, you're like, oh no. I would just wake up on like Monday and be like, oh no. Oh no, I'm sore.
It couldn't move.
Oh.
You ever wake up and just couldn't move? Like you're
Yeah.
You tried to like move
If it was
your
a
arms,
really
your legs.
bad day, if it was a really bad day, like a really physical one, or you get one shot and you're just like, there was one play I remember like yesterday. It was in Miami, and I think Alan Branch, it was in Miami. I was like the outside linebacker, set the edge, running backs come in, push the guy inside, he's going inside. I flipped the guy outside, made the tackle, but as I was making the tackle, Alan Branch was running like down the line of scrimmage, and he hit the guy from behind. So it was my force hitting the guy, his force hitting the guy, hitting me, and then he fell on the guy and the guy fell on me. And like I remember just like hitting the ground with all my wind was out of me, and like it knocked the wind out of me, and it hurt a lot. And I remember just like rolling over on my face, and it was right by the sideline. I was just laying there for like a minute, and I was like, oh, this hurts. Oh. And then I got up, and I was like, and I looked at the sideline, and they're like, "Are you okay?" I said, I'm good. And then I got in the huddle and played the next play, but it hurt bad.
So the next morning you woke up and couldn't move.
I mean,
at the end.
Sometimes there's
bad,
really,
right?
really bad days. I mean, there's some games where if you're playing like, I don't know, a team that doesn't really want to play or they're not that physical, like you can get through a full game and you're like, wow, I feel decent. I'm not even that sore, and then you feel great. And then other times you're like, oh no, I'm really gonna be sore, and like you'll get like the big cherries on your neck from your pads and your helmet pinching together, so you'd like your neck's all chewed up, looks like you got freaking attacked by a dog or mauled or something. I think we were playing in Oakland, and we were playing the Raiders in Oakland, and it was when they had McFadden as a running back. And it was similar to the Miami play I was just talking about. I had the tight end. I pushed the tight end. I extended, set the edge, and McFadden was right there, like where you're at, and he saw like no hole. So sometimes a running back, when they don't see a place to go, they just like put their head down and tuck. And like I went like this, and he put his head down and tucked, and he hit me right here. And I was like, oh, no.
All the
and then we
area.
all fell. We all, like, everyone was just a big pile. And I remember just being like,
where do I go?
I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. And then that one really hurt, because in that one I had like the cartilage issue.
Oh, the
and
ribs.
Then that's when I went and I saw Alex during the week. And Alex from TB12 does a great job, but he also can be like very, very, very painful when his massages are basically to manipulate your brain to be in so much pain that your brain shuts off the pain receptors because you're in so much pain. And I remember this like yesterday. He's like, okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get in there, in between the ribs, and massage that cartilage, because that needs to be released, and then your body will naturally just let that pain go away. And I remember being like, okay, let's do this. So he's like, let's put your arm, put my arm like this, and he was taking his fingers and just going in between my rib cage, and I'm like, oh, ow, I like couldn't breathe. And then afterwards, like when he stops, obviously you're like, yes. He's like, how's it feel? I'm like, I feel great. I'm ready to get out of this room. I don't want to deal with this pain anymore. So I got out of there as fast as possible.
Did you ever go back?
And it felt better. Yeah, I've had a couple things that he worked on. I tore my MCL very badly, like grade 3 MCL tear. And he was like, what we're going to do is we're going to manipulate the ligaments, and your body's going to take over for the absent MCL. And then so he's giving me like this ACL massage, very painful. And at that point, like I couldn't, when I would bend my leg up, I felt like it was like falling because my MCL wasn't there. So afterwards, he's like, how is that? And I would like bend. I'm like, yeah, it's still like my leg's like falling. There's no MCL there.
You stand up and just fall right down.
It's just like it wasn't there. So I'm like, I don't think I can go yet.
Did you play?
No, actually, that was the only game. Hold on. No Corona. Oranges. Apples. That doesn't work.
What?
Yeah, you try to think of oranges and apples, and then you don't sneeze. You ever do that?
No.
Didn't work. Didn't work. Okay, so anyway, that in 2009, we were playing, if you remember the 4th and 2 game in Indianapolis, where we went for it on 4th and 2, the defense was devastated by injuries, and that was 2009, so that we were like not a great team anyway. And I was backing up everybody basically at that point, and then those guys got hurt, so they're like, Ninko, you're up. So I was like, all right, cool. So I'm in playing. I'm like, all right, this is a shot. So I'm playing. It threw like a bubble pass or something, screen. So I'm turning and running. I'm going to get it, and Brennan Merriweather like dove at the dude's legs and missed him completely, but just wrecked my knees like with his body, and he tore my MCL. So I'm like, all right, in Indianapolis, the great fans of Indy, like I'm hobbling off to the locker room to get an X-ray because that's what they do. Which X-rays don't show you anything unless you actually break something. And they're like, "You'll number 50, you suck. You'll never be Vrabel." Just like crazy stuff. I'm like, "Yep, thanks, thank you." But then that next week we were playing the Jets, and the following week we were playing at New Orleans, and that was the game where they beat us badly in New Orleans. That was 2009. They won the Super Bowl, so. That was the year I was cut from them as the snapper. So I had that circled on my calendar. I'm like, I don't care what I got to do. I'm playing in this game. I'm playing in this football game. So I had to miss the one game I ever missed an injury in 8 years was 2009.
Was the New Orleans game?
No, Jets game prior to. Then in New Orleans, I put a brace on, taped it up, give it the MCL tape job, whatever it's got to be.
Is that when you try to get the massage from Alex to see if he could
that was
manipulate
before
your brain
the Jets
into
game.
Repairing the MCL?
Before the Jets game, he tried to manipulate the MCL to heal.
So what was it like that your brain would then like send the lasers down?
Yes. The like brain sends a signal to the MCL to
get up,
not have any pain. But I would go to Alex, like the tissue work, like what Tom does. He does like a maintenance thing. Like he always gets the, lengthening of his arm and his everything. He does everything. Yeah. And, I think that's what has kept Tom in such great Gumby-like shape, But there's in football, there's certain positions where you don't have to be as stout,
yeah, quarterback, you don't have to be.
Quarterback, kicker, long snapper, punter.
Yeah.
You don't really,
pretty much everywhere else, though.
You don't have to lift at all to be those guys. But if you're a lineman or, you're 260 trying to stop a 320-pound guy from pushing you, you got to have some strength. You got to have the, But, no, I think that the ribs in particular, I was able to get back quicker with the ribs, even though it was like the most painful thing I've ever done in my life. But yeah, Toradol, it's not that bad for you, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I think that's worse is when you are injured or you have any nagging injuries, the Indocin is like a pill that you take every day, and that is probably, I would think, worse for you.
I don't know what it is.
It's like an anti-inflammatory, but it's not good for like your liver and stuff. And I know people that were taking that for 8 years. Like 8 years every day you take an anti-inflammatory. Like I don't think that's good for you. And there's a lot of, I didn't take that stuff. I only, like if I was going to take the Toradol, I would just know, okay, I'm going to take the Toradol. And then the only problem with the Toradol is if you have an injury, you bleed. And I tend to bleed a lot.
Yeah.
So like I would get a bruise and it'd be like massive.
Because
your body would just, your blood's thin. So like if you're going to bleed, it bleeds out. And there was, when we played the Super Bowl in Indy, when we were playing the Ravens, Mayo hit me in the thigh with his helmet, like full speed. And my thigh board, like I was like, oh no, that really hurt. And I looked down, my thigh board was cracked in half and it was flipped inside out. Like the thigh board itself is usually rounded and it goes over your leg. The tips were up and the middle was cracked. It was insane. And I remember just being like, well, that hurt. And I had a bruise there that it damaged my quad. My quad has like a big hole in it. Oh, thanks, Gerard.
Like a big.
It's got a big like a strip missing. Yeah. And then that blood went down into my ankle. So I played the Super Bowl in Indy with like my whole leg was black and blue. Like the blood will travel. So like it was down in my ankle and stuff. It's crazy. Football's awesome. It's so cool.
You know what else is awesome? Imagine if you were the captain of the ship in the Suez Canal that you tried to turn around.
Oh my goodness. I wonder, like, you know how when you do something and you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah, like what do you do?
Like a little panic. You're like, oh boy. Who did that? Who controlled
screwed
this?
That thing up?
Yeah. Where's the tugboats? Tugboats, what'd you do? That's embarrassing. That's got to be embarrassing.
You gotta like jump off the ship and take off, right?
But if those, like, I know somebody that's a tugboat captain down in Louisiana and they make a ton of money.
Oh yeah, rescue and stuff. Yeah, but you need like more than a tugboat to take. That was a
No, but if you are a
freight
captain
liner.
of like one of those big ships,
Yeah.
it's almost like air traffic control. Like the stress and like the pressure is very high because those ships are so big that if you hit something, like you could literally like destroy.
Well, it's not like a braking system like where you just
You don't
hit the
stop.
brakes to stop.
Yeah,
like,
no, you
you're
don't
still
stop.
Going.
You're moving. You're moving. So that guy must feel like a real idiot.
Well, it said so that's going to put. I was reading it puts a lot of things behind by 3 to 4 months. It's going to create a toilet paper shortage again.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, get your newspapers. I know the newspapers are. Nobody's really getting newspapers anymore. You don't use toilet paper? Oh, you got the bidets.
Yeah.
See, I'm not a bidet guy.
Wash lid.
Wash lid.
Yeah. You got.
What about the dryness though?
It has a dryer.
Oh, it dries.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
There's a memory seat too.
It knows based on weight who it is.
Yeah, you press user 1 or user 2.
What if there's user 3?
Nobody's allowed in my bathroom except for user 1 or user 2.
Well, I need to try it at least.
There's one in every room of the
Oh,
house.
okay. All right. Well, I'll try the guest room.
But it has it has the water. It also has the front one too for the ladies. So there's a front one and a back one. And then the seats heated.
What movie is that where the guy drinking out of the fountain, but it's a bidet?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
He's drinking out of the fountain.
Yeah.
It's like a fountain. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh god.
Yeah, but yeah, it's has
When we
that.
were in London, I think there was a bidet.
Bidets are different though because bidets you have to hover over them. You know, you're not supposed to sit on a bidet.
I don't know. I might have went number 1 in a bidet and not known what it was. And thought it was a European urinal. I don't know.
Saying that you probably did means
Maybe
you
I
actually
went.
did. It's
Maybe
not
I
like
went
you-
number
it's like you
2 in the
didn't know.
bidet. And where's the flush? Where do I flush
Yeah,
this thing away at? No, it's not for that.
Yeah, but a bidet is a toilet. Like you have a toilet.
Well, they
and
have
the
a
bidet
toilet
is
and the
next to it.
bidet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're supposed to go to the bathroom
drink
and the toilet.
12 Guinness and tell me you can
Yeah,
tell the
and then-
difference.
but you have to hover over the bidet.
Oh, you hover.
Yeah, you're not supposed to sit on it.
It'd be good for quad strength. If you think about hovering.
And I was just like,
Only time I hover
bad
was.
one. You could be hovering for like 10 minutes.
I'll tell you a great hover story. When I was 19, I worked for my dad in steel, and I would do the summer months. So, it was July, 100-degree day on a work site. What do they got? Your blue urinal.
Yeah.
It was probably 150 degrees in that urinal.
Oh,
And I don't know if you've
it
ever
can't be
taken paper, used the toilet paper from a urinal.
Yeah, they're not
It's
nice.
literally like tissue paper.
Yeah.
So imagine hovering for about
Like newspaper.
it was
But
very
not as,
thin.
Yeah,
It
not
was very
as-
thin.
Yeah, but it's the same like consistency, like the
So
same like scratch of a newspaper.
Have you ever taken maybe a very thin tissue paper and put a little bit of liquid on it?
Yeah.
What happens to it? It just disappears, right? So imagine hovering in a football stance in a 120-degree heat locker, and then
And that
you
smell.
could imagine the liquids running, not to mention the other liquid running, and then you take that paper. You could have had a mound this big, and it just disintegrated into nothing. It was a very traumatic experience, and I made sure that was the only time that I had to use that bathroom in particular, because it wasn't a bathroom. It was basically a torture of a hot
Torture
box.
chamber.
It was like Cool Hand Luke in the box,
Yeah.
if you've ever seen Cool
That's
Hand
where the
Luke.
washlets come in
Ooh,
handy.
Lucille.
That's where the washlets come in
Have you
handy.
seen Cool
sit
Hand
down.
Luke?
No.
How have you not seen Cool Hand Luke? It's a classic. It's
Not that
on.
old.
It's on Netflix. I think it's on Amazon. No, it's on Netflix.
I have so many shows I got to watch that like
It's
I'm way
not a
behind.
show. It's a movie. It's a
Yeah.
classic
Yeah, I know, but I
movie.
have so many things to
It's
watch.
Paul
I'm
Newman.
so far behind.
It's Paul Newman.
You haven't watched a lot of things either.
I haven't watched. What's the one thing you talk about all the time?
Utopia.
Utopia.
It's a good
That's
show.
you talk
or,
about Utopia.
or The Boys. You watch The Boys
The
yet?
Boys. No, I haven't.
Nazi Hunters.
No, haven't.
What else is there? Have you watched Ford vs Ferrari yet?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
One of my favorite actors is Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him in Empire of the Sun, great movie. One of my favorites.
He's better in like American Psycho or whatever it's called.
American Psycho, he's great in that one too.
And Batman.
You know. You like Phil Collins?
No.
That's in American Psycho.
Yeah, no.
Well, I think it's time for a break. I think after this break, I want to jump into some draft talk. Patriots
I know because
draft.
I was very
Jimmy
confused
G,
by one of
very
your opinions.
upset about that.
I was very confused by one of your opinions yesterday.
All right.
So
we're going to get into that right after this. We'll be back.
Yeah.
So we're back, and we're going to get into the draft right now. And the draft, the Patriots.
Big Patriots draft.
Big Patriots draft. Well, I saw a photo of Bill and McDaniels at the Alabama Pro Day, which would be
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. How do you feel about that? Jimmy G, Mac Jones. Who would you rather?
Mac Jones. That's hands down.
How would you rather Mac Jones? You don't know what he is.
Jimmy G can't stay healthy though.
Oh, yes he can. Yes he can. He's going to stay healthy here because they're offensive
$25 million a year.
Does he right now?
Yeah, I think it's $25 million this year.
Well, the 49ers just traded up to number 3. I don't think his salary is $25 million.
I think I'm almost positive it is.
I don't think it is. I think you're going to be surprised at the actual number for his salary.
Do you think his real name is Jimmy, or do you think it's James?
Probably James. Jimmy G, I feel, gives you the best bet of winning right now with the people that you picked up in free agency, the defense that you have, the veterans that you're not going to have in 2 years. Because think about this team in 2 years when Mac Jones.
I think you're going to be upset with this. Well, not going to be upset, but
okay.
2021 base salary $24.1 million, 1.4 signing bonus, $300,000 roster bonus, $600,000 workout.
That's gone.
Cap hit 26.4.
26.4.
Next year, salary goes to 24.2.
Well, he won't be there next year because they traded up. The 49ers went to 3 to get a quarterback.
But I don't
That's
see
what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't see the 49ers trading him, though.
I do.
Why would you trade him for a third-round pick?
No, they're not trading for a third-round pick. They're going to get a second-round pick. They went up to 3 for a reason. They didn't go up to 3 to get a receiver.
No, they're getting a quarterback. I get that. But I think they're going to have Jimmy G start the season.
So why would you pay a guy that you don't expect him to be there after this season, pay him what he's going to make this year? If you're the Patriots and you get Jimmy G, you're automatically a contender with Jimmy G. You can get Jimmy G and draft a quarterback, but you're not going to go out and you're not going to get Mac Jones. But if you get Mac Jones, he's played 1 year with a receiving core that's better than most receiving cores in the NFL.
Still got to make the throws, though.
Yeah, you can make the throws when the guys are wide open. Or you can make the throws. If I threw it up to Randy Moss and he's covered, but he still comes down with the ball, like, do I look good or does he look good?
A lot of reports are saying anyway, the 49ers are going to take Mac Jones at 3.
Oh, that's a double whammy.
Yeah,
for the Patriots.
But
they got Jimmy G and Mac Jones.
Yeah,
everybody wants Mac Jones here. Here's the thing: if
why
you don't
want Mac Jones?
Why don't I?
Yeah,
why don't I want Mac Jones?
Yeah,
because I feel like he is. It takes a rookie a couple years to get with the program, get up to speed with the NFL. I mean, look at Josh Allen. His first 3 years, you're like, I don't know, and then 4th year, Bill in 4 years is going to be like 72.
He's still going to be coaching.
I know, but I mean, he doesn't have 10 years to develop a quarterback or 5.
It's not 10 years to develop a quarterback. Bill literally said, I think it was a few months ago, that basically in the NFL now you have a year to 2 years to develop a quarterback, and you should know within a year to 2 years if you've got somebody.
Even a rookie?
With a rookie, yeah. But I mean, that's kind of what it is.
I don't know.
See, I'd be fine with Mac Jones, but the kid I want them to draft is Trey Lance.
You want them
to trade?
I want the kid from BYU.
Yeah, but he's going to go number 2 to the Jets.
I know,
but
no, I don't think the Jets take him at 2. I think the
do.
Jets take the receiver from Bama at number 2.
No, if they were going to take a non-quarterback at 2, I think you take the lineman from Oregon.
No, but the Jets with the lineman that he's got, the guy that they got last year, he's like 380. He's a freak. The guy, and you get another lineman. I don't want to be. Playing against the Jets,
but that's what I mean though. Like, you have to the Jets. The Jets, I think, are stupid to take a quarterback because if Sam Darnold was coming out this year,
they shouldn't take a quarterback.
Yeah,
he'd be number 1.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Or
He'd be like number 1 or number 2, right? He's better than everybody maybe except Trevor Lawrence. So why take a quarterback? That's why I'd rather see the Patriots trade for, instead of trading for Jimmy G, I'd rather see them trade for Sam Darnold.
See, I just like Jimmy G because
I know.
he's from Chicago and he went to Eastern Illinois and he's a Midwestern
What's
kid.
up with you all the heartthrob quarterbacks? First Brady, and now
He's got
Jimmy
a nice smile to him. He's got the look of a quarterback.
Yeah.
He's got great hair. You know,
That's what we're basing it off of now.
he's got a great look. I mean, I like Jimmy G. He's a good kid, and I played with. He's my teammate, so I'm partial to guys that obviously I played with.
I just don't see Jimmy G's older now. He's injury prone.
And he drives a Jeep Grand Cherokee and rocks Wrangler jean commercials. How can you not like that?
At $24 million a year?
That's what quarterbacks go for. You're paying Cam Newton $5 million.
No, it's 2.5.
Well, he's going to make $5 million in 2021.
Yeah. But that's not that bad.
It's not that bad, but imagine if you couldn't throw, but you still make $5 million.
Well, who was
Where
that?
do I sign up?
Who was I looking at the other day?
Or no, Andy Dalton is making $10 million. What?
Yeah,
Andy
that
Dalton
one's-
is making $10 million.
The Bears.
The Chicago Bears
the
are going
Bears
to be
need a quarterback so bad they went
Andy Dalton. Let's write you a check for $10 million. When you got rid of Trubisky for $2.5, Trubisky went to the Bills to be a backup for $2.5 million.
Well, that's the thing. Is
And
why
you
did they just keep
paid-
Trubisky?
That's what I'm thinking.
Like, it
Just
doesn't make any sense.
give him. If he's going to go to Buffalo for $2 million, he's probably just like, I'm done with these coaches. I'm done with everybody in Chicago. I'm done. I'm going somewhere. I'm going to be a backup. I'm going to have a clipboard. I'm going to make a shit ton of money, and I'm just going to not have to worry about all the pressure.
I think what Trubisky's doing is he's trying to get with Dabble, because what Dabble's kind of done with Josh Allen. They're a similar quarterback, right? Big arm, can move. Dabble. Same thing.
That Dabble guy.
But I think he's trying to get with him and then hopefully resurrect his career a little bit and then be able to sign somewhere.
Yeah, or just let me be a backup and make $50 million.
I mean, people.
I'll play 20 years and just never get hit.
Matt Schaub's been great at that.
Yeah. So have a lot of guys.
There's a lot of quarterbacks that made a lot of money. Like it's people you don't even expect. Like Ryan Fitzpatrick, you know what he's made over his career?
Yeah, a lot.
Like $170 million.
It's a lot of money.
But he's
actually played.
But it's a 1-year contract for $10 million. A 1-year contract.
It's a tough way to live, though, when year to year. But for $120 million, I'd
you'd go place to place.
I'd be Deshaun Watson's masseuse.
Speaking of that, it's breaking news. There's 2 more lawsuits against him.
Oh man, this guy's in a bad spot right now.
You think he'll be playing this year?
I don't think so.
I don't think
he'll play.
Do you?
I don't want to jump. I'm not going to jump into the. I don't know, because it's weird that nothing has ever been a criminal thing. This is all like civil, right? It's not. There's no criminal investigations.
Supposedly, it's being turned over now.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, he's probably not going to play football. That's for sure.
So you don't think he's going to play this year?
No.
You think he's going to get suspended?
I think that they'll probably put him on like the exempt list or something.
Has to be for at least like half the season, right?
Yeah. Well, that takes care of his issue not wanting to play for Houston.
You think a team trades for him?
Nope.
I don't see it either.
That is what you would call a what is the word I'm searching for right now? Just not a good situation. If you traded for him and something happens or criminal stuff gets involved, then you just don't look good. It's kind of like Antonio Brown when that stuff came up and he was here. They're like, all right, we got to get rid of you.
Yeah, but he got suspended for like 8 games or something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is a little bit worse than even the Antonio Brown thing. I mean, even if you claim that half of them are real, it's still 12 or 13.
It's bad.
Yeah.
I just don't like some of the, I guess, people that are in this lawsuit or whatever were multiple, like for me, if I felt uncomfortable once, I probably wouldn't go back, and there's people that went 4 or 5, 6.
The thing I find weird is why would you be hiring a masseuse on Instagram and flying them across the country?
It's weird.
I mean, you think the team would have some of the best masseuses
well,
around, or like to be one around you in
most
Houston.
people or athletes just have,
But you go to one person.
I go to Mary.
Right? Yeah.
My lady.
But you have
my lady Mary.
You find one
She's
person
awesome.
and you go to that one person. Like you don't fly somebody in.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
But it's just it's odd. It's odd.
But then he was deleting like Instagram messages.
Yeah.
And
it's very
offering
odd.
payouts.
He looks very guilty right now to me. But
it'll play itself out. But it's that one's gonna be a tough one. But back to
you're like a star quarterback. You're a star quarterback and you're young.
Making like $30 million a year, and you'll have another contract of probably $50 million a year. Probably by that point, we'll have another one, $55 million a year by the time, because he becomes a free agent when the TV deal kicks in.
I mean, he's
could be $60 million a year at that.
Doesn't
point.
make sense, but there's a lot of things in this world that don't make sense to me.
So, do you think the Patriots are going to trade up for a quarterback?
Nope.
You don't?
No, I don't think they trade up. I don't think they do.
That's the only way they're going to get one.
I think they'll stay at 15, and if somebody's there at 15 that they really feel confident is going to be, then I don't see them trading up and losing any draft equity by trading up. I see them staying where they're at, taking what's available, letting it all play out.
I think
like
all
they've
the
done
moves,
in the past.
I think all the moves though have suggested that they're going to draft a quarterback.
Yeah, I think they're going to draft a quarterback at 15.
But they can't. Yeah, but there's not going to be a quarterback at 15.
You don't think?
Like
You think all the quarterbacks are going to be gone by 15?
The top 5 will be gone by 15. There's too many people ahead of
they
any
drafted
quarterbacks.
one in the 7th round, and he turned out to be the best ever. I don't think they look at it like we have to take these 5 guys or else we're missing.
But it's a big fall off to the second half. The second tier of quarterbacks that they have. And I think Mac Jones is actually the guy they want, though, because he's...
So Mac Jones, my only concern with Mac Jones is...
Kuiper said he's the next Tom Brady.
Yeah, come on now. I think that when you look at the way that the NFL has changed, non-mobile quarterbacks are becoming like the dinosaurs, and they're slowly being extinct.
Mac Jones ran like a 4.6 40 or 4.7 40.
No, he's not. He's not a
mobile
quarterback. He can't run the RPO, and he's not going to scare anybody because you put a couple licks on him. He's not going to juke anyone out of their cleats like everyone else does in the league now.
I don't know. It seems the non-mobile quarterbacks have been pretty successful in the Super Bowl, though.
Oh, yeah, Tom Brady.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, but he's Tom Brady.
Yeah?
Yeah. Tom Brady.
I understand that, but
Tom Brady is mobile. Tom Brady's just not a scrambler. Tom Brady is great in the pocket.
Yeah, he shifts.
He's
and
got
moves.
I think that's called
mobile,
mobility.
The Mac Jones is the
Let's
same
call
thing.
it pliability.
Pliability?
Yeah.
We'll get that way.
Mobility, pliability.
But you think that they wait, for the second tier of quarterbacks? Like Kelvin Mott or Kyle Trask or something like that?
I like Trask. I just don't think that
Trask is less mobile. He's slower than Tom Brady.
Yeah, but I think that if they're going to trade up, they need to get somebody that they feel is dynamic, like what the future of the NFL is. I like Trey Lance. But
so you'd be okay if they traded up for Trey Lance?
I don't think that they will trade up, and I don't think Trey Lance will be there at 15. I think Mac Jones could be there at 15.
I think he's going to take – the 49ers went to his pro day. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch.
If they get Mac Jones, Jimmy G will come here. That's what I think.
I don't think so. I think they're going to keep – the thing is, they have enough cap space, the 49ers, where they already have him factored in. You draft a quarterback. It's
So
not
think
like
of it this way.
changes.
If they have Jimmy G and Mac Jones, their quarterback room is 30 times what the Patriots' quarterback room is of Cam and who? I don't know.
Stidham. And then DeLonga or something like that.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Could be a ball boy in there. Doesn't matter.
I don't think – I think it's going to cost a first-round pick to get Jimmy G. That's the only way the 49ers trade him.
There's no way.
There's no way the 49ers. But what's the incentive for the 49ers to trade him? They can trade him next year for a third or a second-round pick.
Getting $20-something million in cap space.
To do what with? All the free agents are signed.
Extending guys on the team that deserve it.
But they got most of them extended.
Bosa doesn't. He
doesn't have to be extended, though.
In the next year or two, he will be.
But it doesn't really help your cap this year to extend him because he's such a low cap hit because he's on the.
Did they bring back Williams, the tackle?
Yeah, they paid him a lot of money.
I don't know. They paid him like a lot of money. He's
no,
like 30-something years old.
It's a lot of money.
He's like old.
It was. I think wasn't it the richest contract for a lineman?
Probably. Which I mean, it might be backloaded or something. But anyway, because he's an older player. I think he's 35.
He's definitely older. older.
He might be 30.
32.
32. I think it takes him to like
6-year,
37.
138 million.
Yeah, he won't make it 6 years. No way.
55 million guaranteed, 40 due at signing.
That's nice. But you're in Cali, so that 40 is like 20. No,
It's
15.
It's like 8.
It's you're 40 million. You get a $40 million signing bonus. You look at it and you're like,
I can buy a 5,000 square foot house.
I just bought what? My house is this much, and I got to pay tax on this house. Crap.
Yeah, you're screwed.
I should have went somewhere else.
He got paid though. I mean, he got 140 million bucks.
Cali's like, California's like, yeah, we kept somebody here. Everyone else is going to Texas.
These athletes, we're gonna keep getting. We're gonna keep getting them. I see him trading up. I think they've done everything to basically go out and find the future, and I think
mosquito bite.
Jesus. But they got to I think they have to think this is one of the best quarterback draft classes in a long time, especially for the top 5 guys. All 5 guys can easily make it in the NFL. All 5 of the
nobody in the draft to me. There's not one person in the draft where I'm like 100% this guy's going to kill.
You don't think Trevor Lawrence is?
I don't know.
I don't think the kid Wilson from BYU is. I don't think he's. I think he's like Baker Mayfield.
Trevor Lawrence, he's really good, but
he's been
on a really good team, so he's going to go to a really bad team.
He's going to go to the Jaguars.
Yeah,
with Urban,
just like
Urban Crazy Meyer.
Yeah,
as the coach.
So like, like Joe Burrow. Like if he gets hurt one more time, his career's over. It's easy. Over. No. He's good. If he hurts his knee and he tears his ACL again, like his career's basically over.
I don't think
Only
so.
takes a couple injuries and like you're sidetracked. Yes, he looks good, but he's on a really bad team.
You can't do it according to injuries for
you
these.
did it with Jimmy G. You're like he's injury prone. Joe
but
Burrow's
he's a
injury
veteran,
prone,
though.
huh?
No, but Joe Burrow had one hit.
He's injury prone. Yeah, one hit injury prone.
Jimmy G has like.
So if he comes back this year, gets hurt, then Joe Burrow tagged injury prone.
Jimmy G gets a high ankle sprain every other game.
No, he's had one high ankle and he's had one ACL. And then he broke his collarbone getting tackled on the concrete turf. Not a collarbone twice.
Twice. Or AC joint. Joint twice.
I had one too. It's fine.
Did you play?
Yeah. But you can't do it on a throwing shoulder. It's tough.
But he gets hurt all the time. He's only played in like 30% of the games.
And he's won all those games.
Yes, he does. I'll give you that. He does win. But you can't tie up $25 million to a player that may or may not play. Because if you trade for Jimmy G, you have to keep Cam Newton because he has to be the backup. Because you have to have a decent backup because there is a good shot Jimmy G doesn't play every game.
A running back could be a decent backup.
What?
Cam is a running back, basically.
Yeah. That's why you draft Trey Lance. They run the same offense. And then Cam starts starts for like 4 or 5 games. Then you turn it over to Trey Lance.
We got Cam in there. Let's load up the box.
Did you see, though, a lot of the free agents said that they came there because of Cam Newton.
And they're all like in their mid-20s because they grew up loving.
You're just mad about that one play, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't like that play. Let's not talk about it. But that wasn't my fault. I mean, first of all, I got tackled from behind. I missed him. Then I missed him again. It's not a big deal. People miss him all the time. But in the same game, I got his ass, too.
Is that the hatred you have for Cam Newton because of that?
I think I'm just an old soul, I guess, an old school like football mentality. Like, Walter Payton score, give the ball to the ref. Like, I don't like all the theatrics.
That's the whole NFL now, though.
And I'm not a huge fan of it because
Tom gets excited.
Yeah, but it's a different thing. Like, you don't see Tom like, Tom is like a rah-rah, let's go. Like, you don't see Tom doing a crossover and then, there's a penalty, and then you go back and you do the same thing twice. Like, come on.
That's the NFL
or
now, though.
like in the first quarter you score, and then the fourth quarter when you're down 20, you put your hood on and you're like, just got to get better.
That's the NFL now, though.
Just got to get better.
That's everybody in the NFL.
Yeah, I know.
Backflips in the end zone.
Yeah.
Does that aggravate you? Like Tyreek Hill that like does like a backflip in the end zone?
Not really.
Like stands on the goal line and backflips in?
No, that doesn't bother me either.
Peace.
the piece. He's fast, so that's cool. But then it just when I hit him, I'd try and make him feel it.
Yeah,
like,
so you
hey,
get mad though.
Feel piece this.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. You get mad.
Piece.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hope he comes over the middle.
Sorry. Oh,
You're
yeah.
dropping into coverage.
Oh yeah.
So I know you're a big Jimmy G fan. We all know that.
Everyone's a Jimmy G fan except for you.
I like Jimmy G. I think he's
Some of
great.
these- Try some beer nuts.
I'd be okay if he came to the Patriots. I'm just saying the best scenario would be to draft a quarterback. Draft one of these top 5 guys.
But you got to trade up. Pros
You
and
have to
cons.
trade up, yeah.
Pros and cons.
You don't think Bill's going to trade? You don't think he would trade up though? Like if he identified Mac Jones or Trey Lance or one of these guys, and it takes to trade up to go get him, you don't think he would pull the trigger?
I think you would, but I like to look at just the history of Bill, like throughout the last 20 years. What is the history of Bill in the draft?
Yeah, but how many times have you seen Bill go to a pro day for a quarterback?
Yeah, but he was looking at pass rushers too.
In Miami, not at Bama. Their pro day at Bama.
He's looking at everybody though.
The pro day at Bama was the receivers and Mac Jones.
Sanitizer,
basically.
huh? There it is.
I had like some sticky from beer.
Oh,
yeah.
Sticky's no good.
Yeah. But that's.
So you gotta just.
How's that thing not run out yet?
It's been here a long time.
But I think they're good. I think the Patriots, regardless of what happens,
That was too much.
I think the thing is they're either going to draft a quarterback or they're going to trade for Jimmy G. I'll give you that. It's one of those two options.
Yep.
But I think they're either trading up or trading for Jimmy G. I just don't know how to if Jimmy G reworked his contract.
I put my phone. I don't think I brought my phone in.
If Jimmy G reworked his contract, I'd be on board with the Jimmy G thing. If it was like $15 million a year, I think that'd be a good deal.
Maybe he would too.
Yeah, you could go up like a third or a second.
Jimmy G's not a Cali guy. Like he doesn't. I texted him last year. I'm like, still in the black Cherokee? He said, "Oh yeah." I said, "You don't fit in Cali. There's no way." How about this? We'll guarantee this right now. If Jimmy G comes here, can we get him in the Dan O'Brien group and get him a Jeep Cherokee?
Yeah, I got
one.
I got a black one that's got its custom package and everything.
Perfect.
Yeah,
we'll put Jimmy G on it.
Yeah, it would be great. It'll fit his style and everything.
And we can have a Jimmy G day at the dealership, and all the females will come in for him.
Yeah, there probably would be. Yeah.
Like Harry Styles.
Yeah, you'd be one of the ones there, jumping up and down in the front row.
Oh,
Jimmy's here. No, but I got one picked out already for him, in case it comes. But what do you make of Bill now going back to these pro days though? Like he's going to some high profile pro days.
He loves the evaluation process. I think that's one thing that keeps him going. He likes to evaluate the players. He likes to go through this process. He likes the off season and going through all the tape and the scouting. And I think that's one part of it that he really enjoys, is just doing all these. Imagine Bill when he walks into these pro days.
People freak out, don't they?
I mean, it's like
it's like if Tom Brady came in with you. Yeah, like if Tom Brady
a red
and
carpet,
Jimmy G.
all the coaches are out there, getting the chapstick out. Like, hey, Bill. It's like, hey.
You see Mac Jones afterwards? He ran a play that they run at Navy just to impress Bill.
Exactly. Yes. Everyone loves. He's the greatest coach of all time. He walks in and.
Not according to some people.
Who?
Most of the Boston media.
Well, they're haters anyway. They wish they were making $20 million a year.
I'm willing to bet it's more than that. Aren't you?
25, 26. I don't know. Whatever it is, he didn't take a pay cut.
Goodell did. He claims.
Yeah, right.
He deferred his $40 million salary to this year to $80 million, but he took the pay cut to help everybody out.
Oh, thanks,
with the
Goodell.
Coronavirus.
Great for you.
I can't believe he's still in. Oh, I guess the owners love him.
No. Well, I mean.
You ever had the pleasure of meeting Roger Goodell?
The cap was an issue this year because they really went after those Super Bowls. I wonder if Bill was ever like, I don't need to make 25 this year. I'll make 10.
Yeah, but
put the rest in
that has nothing to do with the cap.
I know. But you don't think You don't think if he stay under the cap for a certain amount of years,
But they've never stayed
Kraft
under
is
the
like,
cap,
hey,
though.
if we're like $20 million under the cap, I'll kick a little bit back to you.
Have they ever really been under the cap, like any significant amount of money ever?
Yeah.
When?
They're always like 10 to 15 under the cap every year.
Going into the season, but then they use a lot of that cap space.
But I always want to know why, on who. Like, because they never had like over. Like, you look at all these other teams, you're like, oh, they got a DN paid, they got a receiver paid. Like, they don't really have one person you're like, whoa, that guy's paid. They don't have a Tooney in Kansas City where you're like, whoa. They don't have a quarterback. Like, so you think about the Kansas City Chiefs. They have a quarterback making 10 years, $500 million, and Tooney making 180.
And the receiver and
Tyreek
Hill makes a ton of money.
How is that
Kelsey
possible?
makes a ton of money.
Yeah. How is that possible? And then you look at the Patriots, you're like, okay, they don't have anybody breaking the bank.
Yeah. No, I've tried to figure. Yeah, but a lot of that has to
Maybe
do
it's
with,
just like the whole, like they have maybe in those teams it's feast and then famine
that's what
underneath.
I think it is.
Yeah.
That's what it has to be. I mean, I just don't see how the Chiefs are going to go on with all they've paid. I mean, you got a guard now as the highest paid. You have a quarterback as the highest paid.
And you cut your tackle, and in the Super Bowl, your tackles were your biggest issue.
Tackles. Both.
Yeah.
Too. I mean, so I think Tooney's playing tackle this year.
He's good. I played Marshall Yanda when in the playoffs. Yanda, he's a really good player. Yanda moved from guard to tackle, and I was like, dang it.
Yeah.
I want to go against that guy. Sometimes the guards are better in the tackle spot because they're used to short quickness stuff, and they boom get to you. I'm like, no, I don't like you. And he's feisty. I don't like guys that like 10 yards down the field are hanging. Usually tackles are lazy. Like they get tired.
The thing I'd be
you can work them. You can run. You can they try and get to you, and you run like an Energizer bunny, and then they just like get tired. But a guard, they're like chasing you, and they're usually like smaller, so they have like the small man complex where they're like.
But the only thing with Tooney though is that you go from a really good offensive line to a not really good offensive line, and now you're the centerpiece of it all. Yeah. So I mean, even if you play well, it's not going to transition out. There's still 4 to 5 guys. There's still 5 guys in the line. I mean, there still has to be that whole piece of it.
How much are you going to pay me?
No, it's great. I mean, he went there.
I would go.
Did you see the thing though that the Patriots made him another offer right before he signed with the Chiefs?
I'm sure. But the offer from the Chiefs, he's probably like, yeah, you guys aren't close.
Supposedly it wasn't that far off. I mean, it was off, but it wasn't like crazy. It wasn't like they offered him, $5 million a year, and the Chiefs were at $20 million a year. Like it wasn't. Supposedly it wasn't that far off. But I think the Patriots are okay. I think their offensive line is gonna be really good.
I think they're going to be good this year. I don't know if they'll get deep into the playoffs.
Well, 17 games now this year too.
Stupid, but we'll see. Here's the issue I have with 17 games. If you're the one guy that tears your ACL in that 17th game, you're pissed. You're like, damn it, I'm not getting paid because of this shit. Yeah, it's affecting me because of this.
So what they take the money and prorate it over 17 games now?
That's it.
Makes sense.
I'm not getting an extra.
But even if you tore your ACL in week 4, you're making less money, right? Because if your contract was $5 million over 16 games, now it's $5 million over 17 games.
It's like if you tear your ACL in the preseason, you're like, all right, that was pointless. If you tear your ACL in week 17 where you're not in the playoffs, you're like, well, that was pointless. And now I'm not going to be ready to go week 1 of next year.
Yeah.
So if you're in your contract year and you get hurt, you're screwed.
So what do you think about? So you don't like the 17 game schedule?
I think it's just greed. It's just money. It's just money. It's all it is money. The owners, how much money do they make? I would love to know what like the revenue is just from parking. Just what they've lost in parking alone. Not to mention concessions and merchandise and
but
everything.
But they lost that money, from not getting it from having fans. But they also spent less money though because they didn't employ anybody and all that stuff. So,
yeah, but they probably they lost
money
more than they would have spent.
They lost money, but don't act like they're in the poorhouse now.
Their money's been sitting making interest.
But they made money last year. There's no way you're an NFL team even without fans. You had to make money last year.
That extra game's probably 14 to 25 million more in their pocket, I would assume.
Yeah, that's the thing I just don't understand with people. Like if you make $20 million a year, what's the difference between making $20 million or $25 million a year? Like if you're an owner of a football team.
I think that it's more of a, I think it's like some guys, if it's somebody's making $1 more, they're losing sleep over it. They're just trying to make
I just don't get that part though. Like your life does. if you make
like for me, if I dropped a penny, I'm not picking it up. Some people are getting that penny.
Yes, but the thing I don't understand is like Roger Goodell, for instance, right? Makes $40 million a year.
Yep.
Would his life change if he made $30 million a year?
No.
Like
it wouldn't change if he never had another job.
That's what I mean, though. Like I just don't get it from people. Like,
well, that's why I mean, honestly, I retired because I'm like, is my life going to be any different if I played 2 more years or 1 more year?
You get like $6 million more, $8 million more.
Doesn't change anything.
That's the big thing.
I'm still living the same.
I think it's crazy to some people though that it's like, you know, I make $35 million a year, but I got to go make $50 million a year now because it's like, what really changes in your life? Like, what is it? What does it matter? Do you have like one more plane? Like, I mean. Instead of having 2 planes,
I think it's more of a competition.
I
think it's more of like a competition with trying to be better than you were the previous year. And
you do it other ways. It doesn't have to just be all about, you know, making the money. That's the thing I don't understand with the owners is like how did the
well, that's like CEOs. I mean, some of these CEOs, you're like, whoa, that guy made a $500 million bonus.
Yeah,
you know, it's like, couldn't that be like 100 million and then like 400 million goes back to the people that made you the 500 million
that's
bonus?
What I mean. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like that's where it comes in.
But that's not like the mentality of some of these people. They're just like, I want the most that I could possibly make. Because there's, you know, I was watching last night. I sent you a picture of the show. It was like F1, like survive, like driving to survive or something. And that industry is, it's. They don't make any money, but the cars are $1 million plus. The
more.
I mean,
the amount of money
F1, like
then you wreck them.
Yeah,
and they're just worthless.
No, but okay. So I was watching this documentary, and it's, you know, Red Bull, McLaren, and you know, you have this private guy that bought the team. He's a billionaire, but he bought a team, and his son drives, and they're like. I mean, you got to have the trucks and even like the setup because they showed like it was before COVID. And then, like, COVID was coming, and they were about to race, and then somebody got COVID, so then they had to shut it down. But, like, you know, these guys are sitting on fake grass with, like, umbrellas and these crazy, like, everything is crazy. Their trucks, they got heated. The tires are wrapped and heated with a computer on them, and it's crazy. And the top driver makes $55 million a year.
Yeah.
And it's like there's – how many fans do you make that much money off of this?
Yeah, it's something I never figured out with some of those sports, like with where the money's at.
Yeah,
like golf is huge, but like
where's the revenue?
Yeah, you get TV
but
money
like
from
who's watching F1 racing? Is it like more of a Europe thing? Like in Europe, like people watch F1.
Yeah, F1 racing is bigger outside of this country.
Yeah,
I just never understood the golf thing of how much golfers make because I don't understand how in golf it's that much money to be made. Like, but you have some
because you know, like in a stadium, you're filling up an NFL stadium. Basketball,
60,000 people.
Yeah, there's a lot of people to make that revenue. But you know, you think about racing or even NASCAR now. Like you look at a NASCAR race, there's nobody there. Like nobody's watching it.
Well, so it's not like they have
advertisements or
well, no, NASCAR has like the thing with them though is they don't have a lot of them. So like I was in Daytona for a while, and I mean when it's the Daytona 500, that place is packed. I mean it is packed. It is.
Yeah.
It's like one of the scariest places to go to too. Like, 'cause there's some weird human beings at those races. But I think it's like 60 or 70,000 people, or 80,000 people that go into it. But it's just one race. It's like the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
you know?
It's just it's like the Super Bowl.
That's the thing I don't understand. And the ticket prices are high as can be, but there's just not a lot of them. Like you have 16 NFL games. You have 685 Major League Baseball games a year. You know, you have hundreds of basketball games. So like you're selling out those stadiums all the time. There's tons of revenue there. So like, how does the player contracts don't?
The F1 stuff, just the cars alone, it just boggles my mind.
It's
the whole car is carbon fiber.
Hundreds of millions of dollars in cars.
It's crazy.
Because you also think that the car itself might be worth like $5-10 million, but then how much development went to that car? You know.
So in this show, you should check it out. It's actually pretty neat. It shows you like they have every year they develop a new car with new technology, and I think it was Ferrari came up with like a steering wheel that as you're going into a corner you can pull it or push the wheel as you're turning, and what it does is changes the aerodynamic or the camber, so you stick more, and then the straightaways you like pull it, and they're like, you know, all these cars are being we need to put this through because I guess every car that they make, all the other teams are like, we want to investigate that. We need to make sure that that's legal.
They look at every part.
They look at everything. Yeah. And that new
team gets suspended too.
Yeah. Something happened with Ferrari, like they let the driver go or something. Something happened. I wasn't paying attention last night. My kids were screaming at me. But the new car that came out this year for that team that I said the private guy bought it, the billionaire, it looked exactly like the previous year's championship car by Mercedes. So they were like, we need to have this car under evaluation for copying infringements or something. Because if you can't copy another car, it has to be a brand new design.
Crazy, though. Like you could just put a stamp on something.
It's like,
oh, she looks different.
Yeah, it's just crazy, and the whole thing's carbon fiber. The whole thing.
Yeah,
it's wild.
There's a lot of betting on F1 racing, like in like Dubai and stuff like that. There's like huge amounts of wagers on F1 races and all that.
It's wild.
I've seen that, like where it's people are dropping like tens of millions of dollars on bets, like one bet on who's going to win an F1 race.
It's definitely interesting.
Sport. It's like it's kind of like the sport of champions type thing. It's just big money sports.
It's like polo. I mean, that's like big money. Nobody that's crazy. Like you have to have your sweater. Yeah, soccer. But soccer's another stadium and fills up and people revenue. But there's some sports where you're like, how does this make any money?
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't understand like the rugby, like the rugby.
Well, rugby's
in the US,
big.
But not
in the US.
Though.
Yeah.
But even like MLS, like you go to MLS games, like nobody's there.
But they don't pay those guys anything unless you're like a big name.
Well, they pay a big name to come over, but they don't really play.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It's interesting to look at how the demographics are, but because the McLaren, the head guy at McLaren, goes into his office and it's like overlooking like this beautiful like the office. You're like, what is the office looked insane? Like it was all glass and it was crazy.
It's probably
he gets out of his house. He walks out of his house and it's like a castle. And he gets in his McLaren. And you're like, how do I get that job?
I know, and all these manufacturers built. I don't know if you saw it in West Palm. They have the Porsche Tower, and it's designed by Porsche, and it actually looks like a Porsche engine, but like it's all these condos.
Porsche. I mean, think Porsche is Porsche. Porsche makes everything. You go down the street but
a lot of
McLaren, you're like, okay, you don't see a McLaren riding down the street.
Yeah, but it's because you sell a McLaren for $1 million. It's not like it's a $20,000 Hyundai Elantra.
But how many $1 million McLarens do they sell?
Not a lot.
500 maybe.
Yeah, 500, 1,000. But they have like sponsorship stuff, and then that F1 racing is big money. But NASCAR's big money though too.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand. It kind of gets you to believe like how much more money is out there in the NFL for these owners.
I mean, the new TV deal.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy.
I wish I would have. Grandpa, why didn't you buy a team?
Yeah, for like $30,000, 50 years ago.
1950, like Grandpa.
Well, people
get a loan out.
People said that Kraft was ridiculous because he paid like the most amount of money at one time.
I know
for
it was
the Patriots.
like what,
125 or 150 million or something like that. They spent more money this free agency and guaranteed money than he paid for the team.
Paid for the team.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
I mean, but it's also spread out though over 4 or 5 years, 6 years.
That's
whatever
nuts.
It is.
All right, let's take a break.
Yeah.
We'll be back. All right, so we're back, the Dan and Ninko Show. My old man's in town, and he's going to be on the next episode. It'll be a surprise. Well, it's not a surprise now, but we're going to have fun. He was like, here, I got a hat for Dan. And I'm like, what the heck? It's a free hat, obviously, from the White Sox. They must have been giving something out. And it's got the shamrocks on it. It looks like it might be for, I don't know. It's very small.
Looks pretty small.
It's very small. But this will be on the podcast.
I'll try this on.
It'll be like our see if it fits.
I don't think it's going to. Nope.
No, it's a little tight. It looks good on you though.
It's cutting off the circulation a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little tight. Here, we'll put it right here. We'll put it on the nat ice. So Pop, here you go. It's gonna be on the.
We've actually created a little collection of things.
This is a collection, and we're gonna mix these together. And Dan's gonna have a shot of maybe some nat ice and a Jameson with a
that natty ice right now is right up there with pickle juice for me. I think.
Yeah,
it was bad enough when it was cold, and
We'll just make a collection here.
I think you should. I think we should do that. We should just pour a little bit of Guinness, a little bit of the natty ice.
We'll do it. We'll do it next week.
You're just gonna take it down?
Yeah, it's just I've had worse.
I don't know about that.
You ever see like the, like the clear bags of, the beer bag, like it's a clear garbage bag, and at the bottom there's like the juice from the beer, and some kid pops it and drinks it.
Yeah, it's probably been like there forever.
Oh. What was the news that you just broke to me?
Oh, Diana Rossini.
Diana
from ESPN. That the Patriots are applying consistent pressure on the 49ers to try to acquire Jimmy Garoppolo.
Consistent pressure. You know what happens when you have pressure?
There's another rumor here
released
that the 49ers would be open to trading Jimmy G for the 15th pick in the draft.
I don't know about that.
Would you at least
then they have
join my side on that going, please don't
I
do
wouldn't.
that.
No, don't do the 15th pick. Don't do that because then they get a 3 and a 15.
Yeah.
No, then you're giving them way too much.
No, I mean,
don't do the 15. I'd go second round, or
with a contract restructured. You have to restructure that.
I don't know if because there's no guaranteed money left there. There's no guaranteed money. There's no guaranteed.
The
49ers already.
But
paid
then you got to
guaranteed.
cut him though.
No, you won't cut him. He's gonna be here. I mean, you pay him the 20-something million in base salary. You could restructure. You could give him a bonus and then restructure his.
Yeah, so
salary is lower.
I mean, they have some ways to. I think they got like $14 million left in cap space, but they have some ways
Jimmy
to
G
fluctuate that.
He wants to come back here.
Is that like a Ninko scoop?
This is just a
or
Ninko
or is that just a feeling?
This is a feeling
that he wants to come back.
I got a feeling.
Oh, I mean, I get he wants out of the 49ers now. I mean, if they're trading up, I mean,
Shanahan just seems like an egotistical maniac. Well, most coaches are, but
the only thing I don't understand with the 49ers is you paid the guy, you have him on the team, he's won a bunch of games for you. Your team is set up to be good. I mean, they weren't that good last year. I mean, they had the most injuries of any team in the NFL probably combined.
Well, they're an injury-prone team.
Yeah, with their quarterback.
Bosa's injury-prone?
Yes.
No.
Kittle injury prone.
See Bosa, he's like
Kittle's injury prone.
I don't know what he's on.
Kittle's hurt all the time.
I don't know what he's on, dude. Kittle looked like a little string bean when he was a kid.
Here, I don't. If you just took talent in the way to do it, I'd be fine with Jimmy G. If you just take pure talent.
Jimmy G gets on if he's here, he's getting on he's gonna be sitting right here. We're
Tom
doing a
Brady
Jimmy G
wouldn't have
episode.
been as good if he missed 3 seasons with injuries, 4 seasons with injuries. Wouldn't have been as good.
It was all luck.
All luck?
Mm-hmm.
No, he played through some serious injuries though.
Yeah, but you can't. He didn't play through his ACL.
It was a one time though.
It happens.
Yeah, but then he got Alex Guerrero that retrained his brain to not get injured.
It's all luck. I'm telling you, football's luck. I couldn't stay on the field for like 2 years, and then I played 10, and I didn't miss. I had 140 game streak.
But you've said before yourself that the NFL, even Bill, when he's evaluating talent and everything, one of the big things is availability.
Availability beats ability every time.
Okay, if that's his motto, what's Jimmy G's availability? Got great ability. What's his availability?
His availability is
it's been
when
less
he
than
plays,
so far.
he wins. All right, I think that's it for this show.
His
I'm done with you. I'm done with you, Dan.
His availability is
knocking
like
of Jimmy
natty
G.
ice.
I'll drink that. If he gets traded here, I'll chug that natty ice.
Okay, now I want to see this now, but I don't want it for the 15th pick. I'd be okay with like a 3rd round or a 2nd round pick and stuff like that. But all right, so we're gonna have Papa Ninko on the show next week.
Papa Ninko's on the show next week. We have a surprise destination we're gonna be at, but we're not gonna give it away.
Yeah,
we'll just
supposed
do
to be
it.
this week.
This week didn't work,
and we're gonna do not next week, the week after that. And
then,
it's
not next week. It's the week after.
Yeah. We'll have Papa Ninko on the show next week.
Yes.
And then the following week will be the surprise destination.
Yes. Okay.
And
we'll do it.
I won't be here the following week because I'll be in the worst place in the world.
Some sunny place.
No, the worst place in the world.
Place.
No, I'll be in Disney.
It's the best place. I want to go to Disney.
You like the shirt that I'm going to wear?
I love it.
Yeah.
I'd rock that shirt.
Yeah, it's great. That it says, I'm only here to pay for this.
Which is true.
Yeah.
Dad, I want this overpriced stuffed animal.
Oh,
No.
That's what I hate the most. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. I want the flashlight.
Just
that's
go to Epcot,
$52.
drink a lot of money, or drink away a lot of your money.
We're going to Raglan Road like 3 times or two times. Raglan Road's a good place to go to. But, we'll see you guys next week. Check us out on Apple, Spotify, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whole 9 yards, anywhere on the internet you can find us.
The whole shebang.
And you'll be able to find us and see us. And then we'll have a special guest next week. And I think we're going to start a lot of special guests in a row here coming up. So,
yep, COVID's over.
Stay tuned. Yep.
Just
you
kidding.
Can't say that.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
How we're going to get canceled now.
All right.
See you guys next week.
Cancel culture.